You're watching MMAOddsBreaker, of course. I'm Frank Trigg. This week, we're talking to Brock Jardine, getting ready to fight Steve Montgomery, coming up here on Tiny Fighting Championships 31. Will be a pretty good card, it seems like, that Titans put together. You know, it's everyone's kind of scrambling. No one's going to beat the big dog. Let's just face the fact, promotion-wise. Everyone else is trying to scramble for the footing for the smaller show where your guys can be fed up to the big show. Do you feel like the Titans putting you in a place where that the bigger promotions will be looking at you and getting ready to kind of snatch you up and move you up the ranks a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the nice parts about Titan was that UFC out clause. For me, my UFC career didn't go very well. I was in the elite category of going 0-2 in the UFC. So I mean, for me, it was I definitely wanted to. I feel like I have unfinished business there. So for me, I definitely want to get back and show them what I can do this second time around.
You're talking about your 0-2. You lost to Rick Story at UFC on Fox 4, and then Kenny Robertson on UFC 157. You kind of got thrown into the wolves right away. Off of. There's no easy matches over there. There just aren't. Everyone's tough. Everyone's an animal. Everyone's a dog. Let's say you can go back. You have a time machine. You go back in time. You just beat Avina. You're getting ready you got the call from UFC. You're coming in. They're telling you to fight Rick Story. What would be different in your training camp?
I wouldn't do anything necessarily different, like go somewhere. I mean, I that camp I spent as soon as I found out. I did a week out at the pit HQ with Coach John Hackelman, and then came back, finished up at the pit elevated at elevation. I think it was just more like but a lot of my losses have probably come from me not believing in my ability. So really over, for me, I was such a big Rick Story fan. I was like, oh crap, I gotta fight Rick Story. Like, been watching this dude demolish guys, and he went on that, title run and was almost fighting GSP for the title. So for me, I was just too much of a fan. If I could go back, I'd just be like, forget this dude. I'm gonna go in there and do what I need to do to win. So.
Have you been doing stuff lately in camp to help, especially for this one specifically, to kind of get over that? Because at some point, you're good enough. You're going to have to fight an idol. It's going to happen again. You're going to have to fight a guy that you were like, I looked up to this guy. He's the reason why I'm fighting. He got me into this game, and now I got to fight him. It's not too far away from that actually happening for you. Are you working on that kind of a situation right now?
Yeah, no, definitely the sports psychology, and just I've always been physically tough, probably from the college wrestling days, being in a Division I room. You physically get tough that way. And for me, and it's not necessarily I'd say I'm mentally weak, but just more believing in myself and my capabilities. So definitely been doing a lot of reading sports psychology stuff on that. And now even in practice, I don't care, if you're Court, Josh, whoever you are, I'm going in there to win that practice, and it's definitely showing in my practices, so can't wait to show it in a fight.
I've talked to Mark Munoz and Johnny Hendricks and John Fitch and obviously, Court and everybody else. I've talked to a ton of guys, and the biggest problem with coming from a Division I wrestling room is if you don't believe in your ability on Tuesday, it's okay because Thursday you can fix it, and then the weekend's the tournament, you can fix it again.
Yeah.
With fighting, it might be 3, 4, for some guys, a year before you get a chance to go out there and just bang our head against the wall and I didn't believe in my ability against Iowa. It's okay. We got Oklahoma State. I'm going to do it now and see what happens. I'll do something different. So we have that repetitive nature of being in that D1 room to kind of fix it. We don't get that now as fighters because there's so much time and space. Yeah. How do you deal with that from a physical aspect of going, I've got to beat this guy up? Like you said, you're trying to win practices all the time, but some days it doesn't work that way. Some days you're gonna try something new and you're gonna get beat with it. It's because it's new technique. It's how it goes. So mentally you go home a little down on yourself. How do you fix that when you get home and get ready for the next practice the next day?
I always try to look at the positive. Maybe I didn't do this well today or didn't do that well, but I really did this well, and I remember, just a month ago, maybe that was something I was struggling in, so just always trying to look at the positives and just more look at my performance, not necessarily I go in to win every practice, try to treat it like a competition. But even if I necessarily like, oh man, I think I lost that round, it's like, well, I did this, I did that. We've been working on this specifically for this guy. So, in a fight, that one combo I landed could have been a fight-ending combo, kind of thing. So,
Right.
just always looking at the positive, throughout the practice.
Well, let's talk about fight-ending combos with Steve Montgomery. I mean, you're obviously watching tape. I know Hackman is the head of Pit HQ, and I know a lot of the guys at Pit Elevated up there in Utah. You guys are tape watchers. You watch your opponents. You understand what they're doing. What do you see in the tape when you're watching Steve? What are you kind of picking him apart, and what do you see he's going to try to do? What do you think he's going to try to do to you when he gets inside that ring with you?
He's a tall, lanky guy, so he's probably going to try to keep that reach. I don't think he keeps it very well. So that's one thing I think I can capitalize on. And then just me, my footwork, my movement, my speed and explosiveness. I just think, it'll be too much for him eventually, and I can get that finish and get that finish bonus.
You're talking about that he's tall and lanky. He's 6'4" and fights at 170, and you're 5'11" and fight at 170. Is that 5 inches really going to be a factor? And does he really have that much of a reach on you where it's going to be like he's going to really be able to keep you on the outside with your wrestling background?
No, I don't believe so. So I mean that's probably his game plan, try to keep it on the outside. But I watch a little bit of tape. My coach Jason Mergley, he does some great video breakdowns. So I mean we'll just break it down, and after watching his video breakdown, I'm very very confident in the stand up exchange to go in my favor.
Perfect. Now let's talk about your practice partners. You talk about trying to win every practice. Who's the guy that gives you the most heart raise every time? Oh, this is the round. This is it. Who's the training partner that no matter what gives you the go every single time?
Lately, it's definitely been Berkman. I love going with that guy, but that was one of the things. I looked up to Berkman a lot, and going into practices, I would be like scared to spar Berkman, and ever since I've been focusing on I guess you can say the mental game. He was just like, dude, what's different? I was like, remember that book you told me to read like 6 months ago? Well, I finally got it and started reading it, and now I just, and he's just like, good, man, good. Like, you have the ability, you just got to believe in it, you got to believe in yourself. And so, I mean, Berkman's been a big influence on my mental game.
He's had a lot of injuries, I'm sure, as you know, and he's been, he fought for a long time with a really bad back. How much harder is it now to deal with him that his back is healed and he's got a really good amount of confidence coming in because of the major fights that he's been beating guys up in?
Yeah, no, it's there's days where and he's just, as the years have gone by, and I've liked to say I've learned a lot from him, and the training, he'll be like, hey, we'll spar today, but I got to go a little lighter. I'm feeling a little sore today, or today, hey, we're gonna go. Okay, it's so. Definitely, that's one thing I've picked up from him, because unfortunately throughout my career I've had a couple of year layoffs because of injuries and whatnot. So kind of getting out of that wrestling mentality of, hey, you might be feeling sore and beat up. I still need to go out there and push it as hard as I can today. Even so, just listening to my body. If it's a spar day and I'm not feeling that great, well, I'll either take the day off or like go swimming or something like that. Not afraid to break up the routine and just listen to your body. So then the next day you go in and you're like, oh man, yeah, I feel so much better.
Of your 13 fights, you have 4 losses. You're 9-4. This is the last question. This might be the toughest question. Of your 4 losses, which is the one you want to go and get back the most?
Man, that's hard to say, because I definitely feel like those 4 losses, I could beat any of those guys, even Rick Story. No disrespect to him or anything. Probably the last fight against Roberts was definitely one that, and it was my last fight, so obviously it's still more fresh on my mind than the other ones.
Plus, it was a split decision. Like, that literally is just getting one judge to think in your favor versus thinking the other way around. I mean, that split decisions are. It's a crapshoot, really. Like, you just have to get one more judge to think about you, and you win. That's how it went.
Yeah, unfortunately, in that fight, I just made just pretty much like 2 mistakes, and he was, I felt like I would win the first 3 minutes of the round, and then he'd take me down and hold me down, and So it's just little mistakes that I get to learn from now. Brad, my favorite, the one I'd like to get back is the Tony Ferguson fight, just because that was one of the best fights of my career. That was definitely one that I felt kind of propelled us both to a new level. We definitely pushed each other in that fight, and that was a very fun, physical, tiring, just dog eat dog fight that I wouldn't mind doing again, but I don't want to make 155. So I'll just live through Tony in the lightweight world.
Nice, smart man. Brock, thanks for coming on here and spending a couple minutes with us here at MMA Oddsbreaker. Is there anything else you want to say to the fans before we cut you out of here?
Don't forget to tune in on CBS Sports Halloween night and watch me and Steve Montgomery go at it.
Thanks, Brock. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you after the fight's over.
All right, thank you.